Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. I know you have got to be very excited. We're in week 5 of a 6-week schedule for these online classes. The semester is almost over, and I really hope for all of you that you're staying safe, you're staying sane, you're staying home, and you're achieving everything you need to in your classes. So we're going to get started and talk about today just an introduction to the overall team section in our module. What's important this week for you to really pay attention to? Well, I think one of the first things to understand is that the movement toward integrated healthcare teams where you have doctors, nurses, PAs, pharmacists, behavioral health professionals, nutritionists, and the list could go on, all in one team working on the holistic health of a patient instead of just a piece here or there in another place, is not going to go away. This movement toward outcomes in health and pay for outcomes versus fee for service payment is a shift that's not leaving either. So what that leaves us with is a need to really understand how to work well together in interprofessional teams. So it's no longer about our team just in the pharmacy proper, although in some instances that may be the team you're working with. It's also though about our ability to actually work in teams, create healthy team environments that are highly productive, and none of that's easy to do. People are complex, they're messy, and they're often very difficult to deal with. And when you have a mix of personality types, behavioral types, people that address the work in completely different ways, have different ways of communicating, and even if they're using the same words, in their language it means something different, it all adds to the complexity of making teams work. I need teams that perform well, actually are high performance teams if at all possible, to get to the outcomes I want as an organization. And that means I need to understand how teams form and the dynamics that start to exist in a team. So one of the first things you're going to look at is Bellmans Roles. Now Bellmans Roles are very interesting because according to Bellmans' theory, what he really proposes is that you need one of everything. You don't need everybody to serve in the same role, and you really don't need multiple people serving in the same role. Instead, what you need is a representative for each of the roles that will help you be a very well-rounded team that can address anything that comes up. So part of this, you have teams in this class. How well and what kind of mix of Bellmans roles do you have on your team? What does that mean for your team in terms of what you'll be good at and what you could possibly miss and not get done? If you're missing some roles and you have no way of adding someone new to fill that role, how could you make up for that with what you have existed on your team? And so part of this is really about understanding the fundamentals. We've addressed personality and how that plays into the mix. We've addressed looking at behaviors and how that plays into the mix. And now we're really looking at the roles people play on teams and how that exists and what that means for you. Now the next part is talking about Tuckmans group development. And this is really applied to teams and the stages teams go through on the continuum to getting to a high performance team. And there's a few things you need to realize with this, and as you watch the videos you'll get more depth into this area. But the bottom line is it's not always a linear process. One small thing, change, shift, someone leaves the team and you have to add someone new, or someone just leaves and you don't add anyone new, can move you back down even if you were a high performing team and knock you out of that stage. So understanding what each stage means and how movement from stage to stage is important is something that really kind of helps you understand the dynamics of teams and where a team is stuck at. You could have a team that's been together for 3 or 4 years and they're still storming. Why? Why can't they move on to the next stage? And then we're going to end with Peter Lynch's 5 dysfunctions of a team. Now, his video is a longer video, but it's actually him discussing each dysfunction in at a conference he was at that he was a keynote speaker. Watch the whole thing. He's an entertaining speaker and he really describes his theory perfectly with great examples from his consulting work. So you won't be bored watching it, and he does a great job of really exploring for us why those dysfunctions exist and how, when they exist, they really damage the ability of the team to function. So you could look at the Peter Lynch's 5 dysfunctions of a team. Then look at Tuckman's group development stages and go, oh, that's why we're never getting past this one stage. Too many of those dysfunctions actually exist. So I may need to focus on how to get rid of these dysfunctions in our team, and then we can move on up and get to the stage where we're a high-performing team. So these all build on each other and are very necessary for you to understand the fundamentals of teams. Again, this is nowhere near the breadth and depth of research we have available to us on teams and team dynamics, but this gets you started in really looking at some fundamentals that can help you be better at forming and integrating and working successfully in teams. So, have a great time this week. This is the last major kind of sprint forward, and our exam is all that's left. So when we get to the first of week 6, what you'll see is the exam will open up. You'll take the exam like we normally would at a normally scheduled time. And then once you put that in and submit it, we're done in this class for this semester. So let me know if you have any questions, concerns, if anything comes up that you need help with, or you have questions about the actual exam. Otherwise, stay safe, and I'll talk to you later.